Hello, I'm Gary Amoroso, Executive Director of the Minnesota Association of School Administrators. Welcome to another edition of Take 5. I want to start off this morning by thanking all of you who had an opportunity to participate in the MASA Strategic Plan Survey. The results of the survey will be available to our general membership next week. I would like to share with you that approximately 133 people responded to the survey, and that in terms of how we are doing in moving towards accomplishment of our two goals, the results are as follows. In terms of MASA providing a multi-tiered professional development system, 34% of the respondents strongly agreed with that statement, and 57% of the respondents agreed somewhat. That's approximately 91% of our respondents responding in a positive fashion. The second goal, MASA serves as a unifying force for public education in the state of Minnesota. We had 35% strongly agree with that statement, and we had 54% agree somewhat. That is approximately 89% of the individuals that participated in the survey. Our goal is to have 100% of the members respond that they strongly agree with both of those statements. As I mentioned, the results of the entire survey will be available on the MASA website the week of October 1st. 2 weeks ago, we took the federal advocacy trip to Washington, D.C. and had an opportunity to interact with all of our legislators, the Department of Education, and the lobbyists from AASA. Accompanying me on the trip and leading the delegation was the president of our association, Jim Hess, Superintendent in Bemidji, Corey Lund, Superintendent in Stillwater, Connie Hayes, Superintendent in Intermediate School District 916, Darren Kermes, the Executive Director of the Minnesota Valley Carver Scott Education Cooperative, and we went on a joint mission this year with MACE, and along with us was Melissa Schaller, Intermediate School District 917 Director of Special Education. Two main areas of focus were talked about at each of the meetings with our representatives and senators. The first area was the reauthorization of ESEA, and I can report that it is hoped that the reauthorization will take place sometime in 2013. And the positive about this is that the Democrats and Republicans both believe that the decision-making authority for how students are assessed and how we measure academic achievement and how we measure success within our schools needs to be pushed to the state level and not have the federal government be part of that conversation. So we'll see how that legislation comes out over the course of the next year. We also talked about sequestration. It's important to note that sequestration will be implemented on January 1st, 2013. The only impact on our public schools will be for school districts that receive impact aid. Impact aid will be affected anywhere between 8 and 10% of the aid that districts currently receive. The rest of the federal funding will begin to be impacted on July 1st, 2013, unless Congress and the President agree to a solution. Many of the individuals that we spoke with felt that during the lame duck session after the November election would be the time to try to come up with some type of a solution so that sequestration would not be implemented January 1st. More to come on that as we move forward. This week, we hosted a group of educators from Egypt. We were contacted by the State Department and asked if we would be willing to have a conversation with 6 educators from Egypt who are here to look at innovations and to look at how we really do things in the United States. Kelly Smith, past president, and Jay Haugen, president-elect of our association, participated in that conversation, and it was a fascinating hour and a half to hear about how things are done in Egypt and what perceptions of our country is in Egypt about education. And it was very, very exciting for us to talk about our systems, what our challenges are, and what some of our strengths are. Want to mention, of course, that the fall conference is being held this week, Sunday evening, September 30th, through Tuesday, the 2nd of October at Brainerd at Madden's. If you still haven't registered, feel free to come up, register on site, and be a part of this outstanding conference. As always, please feel free to contact me if I can be of service to you. 651-319-1211. Thanks for what you do every day.